Episode 10, deep dives, dramatic pretzels, bezels, and the last episode that concludes our season 1. Welcome back to Glen and Dec, Time Well Wasted, episode 10. More nonsense, more watch talk, and more accidental confessions we absolutely didn't mean to record.
Accidental confessions? That's our business model, Glenn.
You mean your therapy disguised as banter?
Therapy's expensive. This is cheaper and comes with a free pint.
Right, we've a lot to cover today. Connor from Limerick asked a proper question this week. Let's get into it. I'm starting a scuba course. What's the best watch to buy? Useful, practical, looks good, and will impress my mates. Good question, Connor. We'll cover practical picks, what to avoid, and why bezels are secretly dramatic.
Tell him to buy a submarine and skip the course.
Focus, Declan. Connor wants real options. Let's break it down. Connor, start with the basics. For recreational diving, you want at least 200 meters water resistance. Look for a screw-down crown, a unidirectional bezel with clear minute markers, and strong loom. Comfort over a wetsuit matters. Rubber or NATO straps are practical. Serviceability and brand support matter if you plan to use it regularly.
So buy something that won't drown you and looks like you know what you're doing.
Exactly, and don't confuse looks like a diver with built for diving. A dress watch with a rotating bezel is not the same as a certified dive watch.
Maybe. Let's do practical checklist.
Good idea. So, water resistance, 200 meters minimum for training. The bezel, unidirectional, tactile clicks, clear markers. Loom, big, bright indices, tritium or high-grade super luminova preferred.
And don't forget the strap. Rubber or NATO for training. Metal bracelet for after-dive socializing.
Choose brands with accessible service networks.
And if you want to impress your mates, bring a torch. The torch is more useful and makes you look like you know what you're doing.
And less likely to get you mugged in the pub.
Connor, here are real picks by price bracket. Glenn, let's go.
So, if you consider budget options between €200 to €600, Seiko SKX, or maybe even Seiko Prospex SRP series are good choice. Why? Rugged, reliable, excellent loom, easy to service. Great for training and rough use.
Okay, for mid-range options between €600 and €2,000. I'd recommend Oris Aquis or Longines Hydro Conquest. Why? Better finishing, stronger resale, nicer bracelets, solid bezels. For premium divers between €2,000 and up to €6,000, I'd have a dilemma: Tudor Black Bay or Omega Seamaster Diver, 300 meters. Why? Heritage, superior bezels, better loom, brand cred.
Okay, so finally the luxury choice, anything over €6,000. One of the two, Rolex Submariner or Blancpain 50 Fathoms. Why? Iconic, built to last, with investment potential.
Which one makes me look like I own a boat?
Omega or Tudor. Seiko makes you look like you own a sensible life.
Consider buying from authorized dealers for warranty. Consider pre-owned for value. Always check service history. Get a spare rubber strap.
Time to deep dive. Time for bezels now, which are the unsung drama queens of dive watches. They're functional, tactile, and emotional.
Function. Measure elapsed time. Safety tool for divers.
Mechanics. Unidirectional ratchet prevents accidental extension of dive time. The number of clicks matters. 60 clicks is satisfying and precise. Cheap bezels can be sloppy.
Materials. Aluminium, ceramic, steel, sapphire. Each ages differently. Ceramic resists scratches, but can shatter. Aluminium scratches, but gains character.
Design drama. The bezel frames the dial. A bold bezel changes the watch's personality. Sporty, vintage, or dressy.
Cheap versus expensive. Cheap bezels often have poor alignment, weak clicks, and faded paint.
Expensive bezels have tight tolerances, crisp clicks, and premium inserts. That tactile click is a tiny dopamine hit.
So, are you saying that bezels are like the drum solo of a watch?
Exactly. And you don't want a drummer who can't keep time. By the way, Declan was just playing with unidentified bezel. Let's do quick comparisons for Connor. Seiko versus Tudor versus Omega.
Seiko, workhorse. Tudor, heirloom. Omega, the one your uncle brags about.
Seiko you won't cry over. Tudor you'll polish and pass on. Omega gives you tech and value. If you want to impress mates without breaking the bank, Tudor Black Bay 58 or Omega Seamaster are sweet spots. Right, before we move on, a little surprise and a bit of proper watchmaking talk. And I don't mention this often, but I actually did a watchmaking course in Switzerland a few years back.
Hold on. What? You? Switzerland? Doing what? Eating fondue and judging people?
No, an actual watchmaking course. 2 months in a tiny atelier in Neuchâtel. 8 hours a day with a loop stuck to my face. I learned to strip and rebuild a movement from scratch.
You're telling me you can take a watch apart and put it back together? Glen, I can't even put IKEA furniture back together.
It was intense. You start with the basics. The mainspring, the power source, the gear train transfers energy. The escapement, the gatekeeper that releases energy in tiny pulses. The balance wheel, the heart of the watch, oscillating back and forth. Jewels, synthetic rubies that reduce friction.
Rubies? So watches are basically tiny divas.
Pretty much. And the tolerances are insane. A human hair is about 70 microns thick. Some watch components are 10 microns. You breathe wrong and the part disappears forever.
That explains why watchmakers are always calm. They've cried all their tears already. The biggest lesson for you?
The biggest lesson I learned, a watch is a controlled miracle. Every tick is a tiny explosion of energy being tamed. When you see a balance wheel oscillating perfectly, it's like watching a heartbeat.
I'm actually impressed. Impressive like a bouncer with a PhD.
Thanks, I think.
No, seriously. I didn't know you had that in your back pocket. You're like a Swiss Army Glen.
It also taught me why servicing matters. Oils dry out, gaskets age, tolerances drift. A watch might run, but not run well. And water resistance, that's not forever. Gaskets need replacing.
So basically, treat your watch like your car. Service it before it dies on the motorway.
Exactly. Except a watch won't explode, usually.
Unless it's mine.
Before we move on, we have an announcement. It's serious stuff.
Is it that we finally get paid?
No, this podcast was supposed to be our last episode.
What?
Declan, breathe. You need some water?
I'm sorry. I thought it was over.
It's not over. This episode only concludes our first season on Horology Guide. Quite the contrary, I spoke to the producer. Yeah, Glen and Dec, time well wasted, is getting its own channel. We're building the brand, but we'll still work with Horology Guide on projects.
You had me there. I nearly smashed the mic. I nearly smashed my dignity.
New channel. We're going to kick off in 2 weeks. Same nonsense. Link in the description. Subscribe if you want to see Dec try to solder a bezel. Quick shout out to Horology Guide. Top quality horological content, deep dives and beautiful watch photography.
Watch pornography?
Declan. Photography. If you want technical breakdowns and historical deep dives, go watch them. They make our nonsense sound credible.
They make us look like we read books.
We do read. Menus mostly. If anyone has requests for a video topic or wants us to cover a specific watch on the new channel, drop it in the comments. We'll pick the best ones. You can also contact us using the new email address. More details on the new channel? Okay, time for a quick quiz with Dec. 5 watch knowledge questions, then 5 history questions. Answers at the end, knowledge questions. Let's see how good we are. Dec, are you ready?
Yes, but don't mumble. Coffee?
Oh yes, number 1. What does a unidirectional bezel prevent during a dive?
Overestimating remaining dive time.
Correct. Number 2. Which loom type is self-illuminating for decades without charging?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is tritium.
Correct. Number 3. What is the typical minimum water resistance rating recommended for recreational diving?
177 meters.
Close, 200. Number 4. Name one advantage of a ceramic bezel insert over aluminium.
Scratch resistance.
Good job, my dear Declan. Number 5. What does COSC certification relate to?
Crack of Swiss chronometers. Heh.
Very funny. Be serious at least for 2 seconds.
Okay, chronometer accuracy certification.
Pass.
Glen, now it's my turn. I'm going to test your watch proficiency. Number 6. Which brand's model was used by NASA astronauts on Apollo missions?
Come on, that's too easy. Omega.
Number 7. Which watch famously helped Apollo 13 crew to time a critical engine burn?
The Omega Speedmaster Professional, the Moonwatch, famously timed the critical 14-second engine burn that helped bring Apollo 13 home.
Wow. Number 8. Which brand used a watch that survived 14 months underwater in marketing?
It's a marketing anecdote, and it was Rolex.
Yep. Number 9. Which country produced the Strela chronograph used by Soviet cosmonauts?
Soviet Union.
Good boy. And last one, number 10. Which watch is associated with early British Royal Navy dive trials?
That was supposed to be a hard question. Rolex again. Early Royal Navy dive trials used Rolex models. The Explorer reference 6150 in the early 1950s, later evolving into the Submariner family.
Impressive. Impressive like a bouncer with a PhD. I'm repeating myself.
Actually, hold on. We've another message here. This one from Shane in Galway. He says, "Lads, serious question. Why do some watches tick loudly enough to wake the dead, and others are silent? My girlfriend says my watch sounds like a bomb timer."
Shane, if your watch sounds like a bomb timer, either it's a vintage pocket watch, or your girlfriend is hinting at something.
Ignore him. Shane, loud ticking usually means a larger balance wheel, a lower beat rate, or a case that amplifies sound. Some vintage watches tick like they're trying to escape the table.
Mine ticks loudly because it's stressed. It knows I can't afford to service it.
Modern watches tend to be quieter because of higher beat rates and better case dampening. But some people love a loud tick. It's like the heartbeat of the watch.
Or the countdown to your girlfriend throwing it out the window.
Dec, that was hilarious as always. And time to wrap up, folks. Thanks to Connor in Limerick and everyone who's listened to the first 10 episodes. And remember, Glen and Dec, Time Well Wasted is getting its own channel. Link in the description. We'll still collaborate with Horology Guide because their content is top tier.
Subscribe, or I'll tell your mates you wear a quartz.
That's Blackmail Dec.
It's marketing.
See you in 2 weeks on the new channel. More nonsense, more watch talk, and more accidental confessions.
Right, before we go, I'm making a promise. In 2 weeks on the new channel, I'm bringing something special.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Every time you say special, I end up apologizing to someone's mother.
No, this one's different. This is revolutionary. This is the kind of thing that'll put us on the map.
Last time you said that, you tried to review a watch using a spirit level and a potato.
And the potato worked perfectly. Thank you very much. But no, next week, I'm unveiling something the world has never seen.
Is it a watch?
It might be a watch, or it might be a concept, or a movement, or a lifestyle.
Translation. He hasn't a clue yet, but he's already committed to it on air.
I'm telling you, Glen, people will talk about this moment.
They will. Mostly saying, "Oh, why did he do that?" But listen, folks, tune in 2 weeks on the new channel for whatever this maniac is planning. Nonsense, chaos, and the occasional accidental wisdom. You know the drill.
It's going to be special. Probably dangerous, but special. And hold on, Glen. Tell everyone why in 2 weeks. Or maybe, I'll tell myself, 2 weeks, yeah. Not because we're lazy, although fair, but because Glen is abandoning me.
I'm going to Canada to visit my uncle. It's not abandonment, it's family.
Family? You're going to eat poutine, look at moose, and pretend you're outdoorsy.
I am outdoorsy.
You brought a battery pack to a picnic.
Anyway, while I'm gone, Declan here has an appointment in an Irish public hospital.
Yes, a routine appointment. They said, we'll see you at 9 a.m. What they didn't say is which day.
That's why I asked him earlier. Did you pack your camping bag?
And I said yes. Tent, sleeping bag, portable stove, 5 watches, watch literature, 3 days of rations, and a power bank for the Switch.
3 days? Dec, It can take 2 weeks to be seen.
2 weeks? Glenn, I didn't pack deodorant.
You'll fit right in.
Grand. If anyone needs me, I'll be in the waiting room, slowly losing my grip on reality.
So, 2 weeks from now, we're back on the new channel, bigger, better, and hopefully with deck discharged.
Or at least washed.